We all fall into the car world from totally different angles. For some people, the first spark was a loud, rumbling V8 Camaro parked outside their school, shaking the pavement like it had something to prove. For others, it was their cousin's low-riding Golf GTI scraping its underbody across every speed bump in the city like it was trying to dig its own grave. And then there are the tragic cases, the people whose origin story involves a Mitsubishi Eclipse covered in anime decals with exhaust tips that buzz like an angry shopping cart being shoved across a parking lot. But your starting point doesn't matter, because once you go deep enough, once you let this strange addiction take over your brain, every true enthusiast eventually ends up in the same place. Chapter 1. The beginning. Your first car obsession is almost never logical. It's emotional, messy, barely running. It's like your first teenage crush. You're not asking whether they're reliable, stable, or reasonable. You're just wondering why your chest suddenly feels like it's malfunctioning. It might be a WRX with far too much turbo pressure and far too little common sense. It might be a 69 Charger shaking like it's possessed anytime it idles. Or maybe it's an E36 set up for the track, which is usually just code for everything is broken, but we're pretending it's on purpose. These cars leak oil like it's personality, they misfire like they're clearing their throat, and they scream, rattle, and behave like wild animals, and somehow, that's exactly why you fall for them. Chapter 2. The power obsession. And then comes the era where every enthusiast loses themselves in numbers. You stop caring about feelings. You stop caring about the soul of a car. All you care about is raw power. Quarter-mile times become your new religion. Horsepower becomes your entire personality. Torque becomes your chosen deity. And the phrase, "what does it put down on the dyno?" becomes your version of a pickup line. You chase turbo kits like rare collectibles. You swear 500 horsepower is the perfect balance, until your friend makes 520 and now suddenly your car feels like it needs therapy. You stop appreciating body lines, wheels, sound, character. None of that matters anymore. The only thing that matters is going in a straight line as quickly as possible, praying your transmission doesn't decide to explode. But then something happens. One random day you take an exit ramp slightly too fast, and your car, your big, powerful, dyno-proven masterpiece, handles the corner like a drunk toddler. It's loose, floaty, unpredictable. You feel disconnected, and that's when another layer of the obsession reveals itself. You suddenly care about coilovers, sway bars, toe settings, corner balance, weight shift. You're up at 3 a.m. watching Nürburgring onboard laps from 2007. You're confused how a 280 HP hatchback is passing supercars, and you realize speed isn't just power. Speed is grip. Speed is balance. Speed is feedback. Chapter 3. The true descent. This is the point where you go from car enthusiast to lost cause. To normal people, you look the same. But something inside you has changed forever. You stop talking about 0-60. You start talking about throttle response, brake feel, steering weight, shift precision. You actually say, this car communicates with me. And you're not kidding. You mean it with your entire soul. You taste cars like wine. And you try a hot hatch for its playfulness. You try a Miata because apparently it's the answer. And annoyingly, it is. You try an old M3 because people swear it was the last one built by actual humans with emotions. Then someone hands you the keys to a Lotus Elise. You return from that drive sweaty, exhausted, partially deaf, and spiritually awake. Comfort? Overrated. Air conditioning? A distraction. Noise insulation? A scam. You're no longer chasing excitement. You're chasing honesty. You want a car that doesn't filter the world but feeds it straight into your nervous system. You don't want approval. You don't want attention. You want connection. And slowly you realize it's not speed you're chasing. It's sensation. It's harmony. It's the feeling of being part of the machine. Chapter 4. The Quiet Awakening. The realization doesn't arrive like a thunderbolt. It arrives quietly. Maybe at a meet someone casually tosses you the keys to their 911. Maybe you reluctantly try one at a dealership because you're bored. Maybe it happens after years of heartbreak. Broken builds, empty wallets, endless projects that never ran right. You sit in a Porsche thinking, whatever, let's see the hype. You turn the key. The engine starts without theatrics. Just a confident, calm purr. You pull out and instantly something feels aligned. Not flashy, not aggressive, just right. The steering is light yet laser accurate. The chassis speaks softly but clearly. The car reacts as if it knows what you want before you decide. You touch the throttle and the car doesn't freak out. It just goes. Controlled, smooth, assured, not trying to impress you, not trying to prove anything, just doing exactly what it was built to do. You stop the car afterward, engine ticking gently, and you sit there wondering, what was that? Nope. Why did it feel like that? Why did it feel like something you've been chasing for years without ever finding? Chapter 5. The Porsche Reality. Eventually you stop comparing the 911 to other cars. It's not trying to be the fastest or the loudest, it's trying to be correct. No gimmicks, no ego, and just decades of refinement until every piece clicks into place. The weight of the clutch, the movement of the shifter, the way the rear end rotates like it's wired directly to your spine. You can feel the generations of engineers who care, who didn't chase trends, didn't chase shock value. They just kept perfecting the same idea until it became art. It's not about brute force, though it has plenty. It's not about top speed, though it's quick. It's about something deeper, a car that feels centered, calm, focused, alive without being chaotic. Other cars try to become your personality. A 911 simply allows you to be the best version of yourself behind the wheel. Chapter 6. The Final Denial. Some people still insist, I'll never want a Porsche, I'm loyal to my RX-7 forever. And that's adorable. But as you get older, even by a small margin, you start craving a machine that doesn't destroy your spine, your wallet, and your mental health. You realize you don't need to suffer to feel connected. You don't need a stripped interior to feel the road. You don't need a track-ready suspension to feel alive. And the road, the real enthusiast road, eventually leads you to one place. Stuttgart, a flat 6, a steering feel that permanently damages your ability to enjoy any other car again. Because if you peel back the layers, the ego, the phases, the trends, beneath all of it is something timeless. The Porsche 911. Not because it's the flashiest, not because it's the fastest, but because in a world full of noise and chaos, it's one of the only machines that still makes perfect, undeniable sense. Wow, just wow.